And nice and warm this evening across West Alabama, 73 in Tuscaloosa, 75 in Demopolis. More on that local forecast here in just a few minutes.
And today is election day across the country. How are the presidential candidates spending their day? And we'll have a rundown of local and state election races. WVUA 23 News starts right now.
This is WVUA 23 News.
And we're glad you're with us tonight. I'm Jabari Pruitt. Tonight we begin with the 2024 presidential race. Election day has resulted in a busy day at polling locations across the world. Michael Yoshida has coverage from West Palm Beach, Florida, during the final hours of Donald Trump's 2024 campaign.
And we're to the final hours of voting this election day here at Trump headquarters at the Palm Beach Convention Center, just hours away from thousands of supporters of the former president filling this center as they prepare to watch the votes and the results roll in. Of course, throughout the day, we've seen tens of millions of Americans across the country going out to their voting locations. We've seen long lines across many of the battleground states: Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Nevada, Arizona, Georgia, of course, North Carolina as well. And before today, we already had more than some 80 million Americans place their votes as part of early voting. Both campaigns staying busy today, talking about how it's really going to come down to turnout. We did have a chance to hear from both candidates earlier today. Here's what they had to say.
Regrets, you always have regrets. I can't think of any, to be honest, to use her expression. I can't think of any. Look, I ran a great campaign. I think it was maybe the best of the three. We did great in the first one. We did much better in the second one, but something happened. And this was the best. I would say this was the best campaign we ran.
We all have so much more in common than what separates us. And we rise and fall together. And when we love our country and show our expression of our love of country, it has to include understanding the connection we all have and working toward our common goals, regardless of who you voted for.
And both candidates staying busy today. The former Vice President Kamala Harris calling into several radio stations, also stopping by the DNC headquarters to speak with supporters and workers. Former President Donald Trump taking part in tele-rallies. Also, he'll be at his Mar-a-Lago resort with close family and friends throughout most of the evening. His supporters here at the convention center, again, they'll be watching the results roll in. No word yet on exactly if he'll come over to speak. It all depends on how the night goes. We're live at Trump headquarters at the Palm Beach Convention Center. I'm Michael Yoshida reporting.
And Vice President Kamala Harris started her day off campaigning, but plans to spend the rest of her day with family. Brian Abel has more from Washington for the final hours of Harris's 2024 campaign.
Here at Harris Election Night headquarters, the stage is still being set. This is a place that is pretty close, near and dear to the vice president's heart. 42 years ago, she was a freshman here at Howard University. This is her favorite place on campus where the stage is set up, called the Yard. It's a formative experience, she called her time here at the university in Washington, D.C. And this is also the very first place where she had her first campaign for freshman class representative. And she says that if she were to win tonight, this would be a full circle moment. This is what the campaigns are looking at so far tonight. Those early exit polls, the early results when polls close, especially in those southern battleground states. We're talking about Georgia and North Carolina specifically, and the reason being for the Harris campaign, if she were to take one of those two states, her path to 270, there's multiple options, there's multiple ways there still. But if she were to take neither of those states, then that path gets pretty narrow pretty quickly. The campaign would then have to look to the blue wall in order to get that path to 270. We're talking about Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, or maybe an upset in Arizona. The Trump campaign also looking at Georgia and North Carolina as well. Why? Because they want to get both of those. Otherwise, they'll also be looking to those blue wall states, all three of which flipped to Trump in 2016, then back to Biden in 2020. Historically, they vote in favor of the Democrats, those three states. he would have to, former President Trump, flip one of those if he were to lose Georgia or North Carolina, as his path to 270 becomes quite tight. Here's what both campaigns said going into the results this evening.
It's going to take some time to get results. We're going to go up, down, but at the end of the day, as we always do, we will get the results that we know are accurate.
She always have regrets. I can't think of any, to be honest, to use her expression. I can't think of any. Look, I ran a great campaign. I think it was maybe the best of the three.
This, of course, a pivotal moment in American history. The stakes could not be higher. The vice president hoping that her message that she's a transformational candidate and one that will help usher in a new generation of politics. She hopes that resonates with voters tonight, but her campaign is also urging patience for everybody, acknowledging that the results may not come in by the end of the night tonight. At Howard University, I'm Brian Abel reporting. Back to you.
Well, Alabama voters have the chance to elect 7 U.S. House of Representatives. Many are incumbents. WVUA 23's Laura Vail joins us live with a list of all of those candidates. Laura, good evening.
Hey, Jabari, good evening. The race in the 7 congressional districts are the following. In Alabama's 1st congressional district, the race is between Democrat Tom Holmes and Republican Barry Moore, the incumbent. The 2nd congressional district race is between Democrat Shamari Figures and Republican Caroline Dobson. The race for Alabama's 3rd, 4th, and 5th congressional district are uncontested. The only candidate running for the 3rd is Republican Mike Rogers, the incumbent. For Alabama's 4th congressional district, the candidate is Republican Robert Adderholt, the incumbent. And for Alabama's 5th congressional district, the only candidate running is Republican Dale Strong, the incumbent. The race in Alabama's 6th congressional district is between Democrat Elizabeth Anderson and Republican Gary Palmer, the incumbent. And the 7th congressional district race is between Democrat Terry Sewell, the incumbent, and Republican Robin Lydecker. Voters in West Alabama will cast ballots for some county races in our area. In Bibb County, voters will be choosing a district court judge. Fayette County will be selecting a county commissioner for District 6 and a Board of Education member for District 6. In Hale County, they'll be choosing a probate judge, a county commissioner for District 2, and Board of Education members for District 4 and 5. Voters in Pickens County will be electing a school superintendent and a school board member for District 1, and Tuscaloosa County voters will be choosing a circuit clerk. We'll keep you updated throughout the night on results. Visit us on WVUA23.com and on social media for more. Back to you, Jabari.
Laura, thank you. Tuscaloosa County voters will see Local Amendment 1 on the ballot today, and some residents hope voters will choose yes. WVUA 23's Paisley Roberts tells us more about this amendment.
Local Amendment 1 refers to an area in Tuscaloosa County near Sanders Ferry Road and Black Warrior Road. Around 1947, a special tax district was created for this area, and the residents paid property tax to the Tuscaloosa City Schools. Since then, the residents have been paying taxes but are unable to vote on any property tax issues. If this amendment passes, residents will be able to vote in the future. The passing of Amendment 1 will put the people in this area in the district for Tuscaloosa County Schools, where they will pay taxes and be able to vote. If passed, students who live in this area will continue going to Tuscaloosa City Schools, so their education will not be interrupted. Local in Tuscaloosa, Paisley Roberts, WVUA 23 News.
Well, turning our attention now to the weather, Chief Meteorologist Richard Scott is here. And Richard, the day started off with a little rain, but is it out of our area?
Hey, Jabbar, for the most part, yes. Temperatures very nice for early November for Election Day. It can be a lot colder this time of the year. Right now, sitting at 73 here in Tuscaloosa and Demopolis in North Marengo County at 75. Put on the satellite, a lot of cloud cover. And yes, there is still some wet weather across our central counties. Now east of Tuscaloosa had some incredible rainbow pictures earlier across the Tuscaloosa area. We'll show some of those in main weather here in just a little bit. Temperatures fall in the low 70s, Jabbar, by 10 and 1 a.m. We'll look at your weekend and that 7-day here in just a few minutes.
Richard, thank you. Coming up, the Tuscaloosa VA Medical Center will host their first ever Veterans Parade on their campus. We'll tell you when. And polling places close at 7 p.m. tonight, but when can we expect the results? And the 7-week Boeing strike is over. Union workers voted yesterday to accept the company's most recent offer. The International Association of Mechanics said rank and file members voted by 59% to approve the deal. The deal includes an immediate raise of 13%, raises of 9% for the next 2 years, and then another 7% raise in the fourth and final year of the contract. This deal did not restore the traditional pension plan they lost in 2014. Now, workers will report back to work on tomorrow. No matter what history will be made in America this election, if Donald Trump wins, he will be the first president since Grover Cleveland voted out of office and then voted back in. Now, if Vice President Kamala Harris wins, she'll be the first woman ever elected president. Now, for a majority of voters, they hope whoever ends up in the Oval Office will address the key issues important to them. Laura Geary reports.
Women's reproductive rights. The economy, more than anything.
Border's huge for me.
I want our country to heal. I want to move past this.
Cornerstone issues driving massive voter turnout in several states today. In battleground Pennsylvania, Philly's district attorney says he's seeing more aggressive behavior than in the past, with his office investigating about a dozen calls from polling places. He's got a message for troublemakers.
We do have the cuffs. We do have the jail cells. We're not playing. F around and find out.
A couple Pennsylvania counties reported minor technical malfunctions with some voting machines, but voters could still cast their ballots. A judge granted one county, Cambria, extended hours to accommodate.
I am completely confident in our ability to run the elections fairly, and all of our voters' ballots are going to be counted.
Georgia had its share of phoned-in threats today. In one case, voting was briefly disrupted at 2 locations, bomb threats that were found to be non-credible.
We identified the source, and it was from Russia. They're up to no mischief, it seems, and they don't want us to have a smooth, fair, and accurate election.
An election that may take a while to tally. Election organizers urge patience.
It's hard to predict when people will be able to wake up and know the result out of Pennsylvania.
I just want to assure the American public that it will happen, but it will be sometime after midnight.
The nation's last polls don't close until 1 a.m. Eastern Time Wednesday morning in Alaska. I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
Well, people in Tuscaloosa and Northport are doing their jobs and getting out to vote. Large crowds have been at polling places since 7 a.m., and then more people piled in as time went on throughout the day. Now, we asked voters about their experience at the polls.
It took me an hour and a half to go through the line. It was hot and long, but I made it through it and got it done.
Once we went in, I think it may have taken no more than 10 minutes. Again, they were very prepared. By looking here at the McDonough Hughes Center this morning, I heard there was a lot of people in a big line, and it seems like to be moving very efficiently today.
Now, if you still need to cast your vote, polls close at 7 p.m. Well, this afternoon, the Tuscaloosa City Council crafted a resolution for Governor Kay Ivey to purchase the Black Warrior Parkway toll bridge. The toll bridge is a vital connection link across the Black Warrior River that connects to Interstate 5920. It's also used for residential and commercial traffic. The council urges that a copy of this resolution be presented to the governor. And tomorrow, November 6th, the Tuscaloosa VA Medical Center will hold its first Veterans Parade. Now, the parade will honor veterans who reside at the VA and in surrounding communities. The parade will begin at 10 a.m. and follow the main road on campus from Building 137 and end near the Hospice of West Alabama building. Area first responder agencies, high school marching bands, and more will be featured in the parade.
And our local weather, nice end to our Tuesday across West Alabama. Live view from Bryant Denny and Tuscaloosa. I've got the local forecast after the break. Stay with us.
From a forecast every day on 92.1 The Possum.
And had a shower pass through the Tuscaloosa area earlier. Had some really cool rainbow pictures sent in across much of West Alabama, including here in the Tuscaloosa area. But just an incredible shot there, backlit by the sunshine, and got an excellent rainbow. Let's go over to our cameras. This is the Algo traffic camera over in the community of Fayette. And again, conditions are all quiet there on this election day. Let's go to our Demopolis camera in North Marengo County. This is looking over the Tombigbee River. The temperature right now is 74. A lot of cloud cover there, but currently no rain in Demopolis. Wind light out of the east-southeast, and 73 right now out the door from Bryant-Denny Stadium here in Tuscaloosa. What a nice end to election day. We got a mixture of clouds and clear skies out there as we look west towards downtown Tuscaloosa. And for today, did top out at 80 degrees. It was a warm afternoon across the area all over central Alabama, seeing those lower 80s to upper 70s there. And for perspective, where we should be is 69 here. So we're way above average, but look at the records. Now, again, we're in early November. We can see some huge temperature swings. The record high, 85, the record low of 21. We'll put on Doppler radar. There's some light showers still out there across central Alabama, mainly down in Bibb County, Perry, Chilton, and Shelby. All that is drifting north and basically up the I-65 corridor. Most of West Alabama currently rain-free to the west of Brent and Centerville. We got 73 again in Tuscaloosa, 74 in North Marengo County. There's a little batch of showers moving north across the area. And this is basically going to be the setup for the next several days with the potential for some rain out there at times, but it doesn't rain all day or all night. 10 o'clock tonight, 72, 70 at 1 a.m. Mostly cloudy for tonight, though, and again tomorrow. For Wednesday, 67 here. At daybreak, we'll warm to around 75 at lunchtime, up to 80 by mid-afternoon. Temperatures warming and very similar to how today's weather was, just not quite as breezy. In the tropics, we've got Rafael, which is a strengthening tropical cyclone approaching the Caymans. That is going to move across the western parts of Cuba tomorrow as a hurricane. Winds at 70 miles an hour now. This bends into the Gulf of Mexico and then turns back northward over the weekend. Now, the good news is it will be a weakening tropical cyclone at landfall. So by the time we go into Sunday, most likely this will be a remnant low pressure moving into Louisiana. If anything, this will be more of a beneficial rain event for central Alabama, so we need that rain out there. And I do think we'll see some of that on Thursday and Friday and Saturday as well as on Sunday. But understand it doesn't rain all day. Rain will be generally scattered. And then Veterans Day looking fantastic next week. We got temperatures back in the upper 70s with overnight lows in the upper 40s. So again, Jabari will have some wet weather for the weekend. The key message, though, it's not going to rain all weekend. We'll have some rain at times, which we certainly need.
All right, Richard, thank you. Well, Gary Harris is standing by with a look at what's coming up in sports. Gary, good evening.
Hey, Jabari, coming up, Alabama men's basketball looked as good as advertised last night in the season opener against UNC Asheville. And the Crimson Tide football team continues preparations for the trip down to LSU this coming Saturday night. We'll have the latest next in WVUA 23 Sports. And good evening, I'm Gary Harris. Tider Insider TV comes your way tonight at 6:30. Well, Alabama football continues to prepare for the trip to LSU this weekend. Let's check in on today's practice. Wide receivers Ryan Williams and Emmanuel Henderson, number 2 and number 3. Tell you what, that passing game needs to be clicking on Saturday night. And Jalen Milroe obviously is going to have to click for Alabama to win this football game. He looks locked in at practice. He'll need to be locked in on Saturday night. We're going to hear from Jalen here in just a moment. There's no doubt that when he plays well, Alabama's offense is hard to handle. Head coach Kalen DeBoer will be coaching his first game ever at Tiger Stadium on Saturday night. And the defensive line for Alabama has been playing its best football of the season lately. There's Payne, number 44. You're going to see Big Tim Keenan right there, number 96. That group against a really veteran offensive line for LSU is going to need to be productive. Now here's Milroe on facing the LSU defense.
They are definitely a better defense than they were last year. A lot of great guys up front and defensive line, 2 edge rushers that are really disruptive in the backfield. They have a lot of disciplined guys in the backers, in the back core. They do a really good job flowing to the ball, run downhill, physical guys, great eye discipline. And then you have secondary, who's very lengthy. They have great range on the football. So it's definitely a defense that's really talented.
Now to hoops. Mark Sears and the Crimson Tide lived up to the big expectations on opening night on Monday evening against UNC Asheville. Cliff Amore leaves it out for Aiden Holloway off the wing. He fires and knocks down the three-pointer. On the other end, the Crimson Tide's Aiden Sherrill. This guy's going to be a menace for opposing teams. The freshman swats it away. That leads to the break. Grant Nelson to Latrell Reitzel Jr., who finishes at the hoop. The Tide's LeBaron Philon, another freshman from Mobile. This guy is so talented. Look at the little stop-start right there. Stutter step for 2 on the baseline. And then off the dribble, he's going to draw the defense and then toss the alley-oop to the big Cliff Amore, who knows what to do with it. Cliff had 16 and 8. Alabama led 50-29 at the half. More of the same in the second half. Mark Sears, beautiful move to the basket with his left hand, as he is a left-handed shooter. He led 6 players in double figures with Alabama with 20. And then here is Big Cliff with another throwdown. He's just a beast. And then the ball is going to find Sherrill inside for 2 off the pick and roll, 6 points and 9 rebounds. All 11 Alabama players that played in the game scored. Bama rolls 110-54. They'll host Arkansas State on Friday night at 7 o'clock. Following last night's game, freshman LeBaron Philon on dealing with first game jitters.
It was a good feeling, to start off kind of nervous. It was the first game, trying to get everything out. But, once the ball tip off, it's go time. So I just try to lock in and stay mental, stay ready at all times, even when I'm, on the bench cheering on my teammates or in the game making plays.
First off, the crowd was unbelievable. It's the best crowd we've had for an opener since I've been here. It's a sellout. So, we needed to keep continuing like that. So, huge thank you to student section. I heard we had more students wanted to come than we had room for, which is great. We need that to be that way every game.
And Jabari, more Alabama men's and women's basketball and football coming up tonight on Tider Insider TV at 6:30.
All right, Gary, thank you. Stick around. We're coming right back.
And warm weather in the forecast coming up Wednesday, Thursday, close to 80. The potential for a few scattered rain showers. Tropical moisture from Raphael moves northward. Higher rain chances over the weekend.
All right, Richard Garrett, thank you. Of course, don't go anywhere. Keep with us tonight at 10 o'clock. We will have a full 1-hour election show tonight at 10 o'clock where we will have all of your election results. We will have two political analysts to break down all of the national results. Have a great evening.
See you.